want to bring Bekah on. She's been in the bakery for a bit. Okay. Hello, lovely. You guys can open your eyes. Look at you. You look all pulled together for a Saturday. I look like a ragamuffin. Thank you for being here. Oh, thanks, girl. It's so good to see you. Hey, so how long have you been in the bakery?
Since September of last year.
Oh my gosh. You're coming up on a year. Feels like just yesterday.
I know. I started around the time of the summit, which was
that's right.
Another, like, a really amazing pivotal moment with my business.
Oh, I love hearing that. So Bekah, let's clarify. Have I prepped you with any questions?
Not at all.
No. Are you wondering, what is she going to ask me?
Yes.
Well, I want to start with that exercise that we just did, and running through the scenarios of what life can look like after joining the bakery. And was there anything on there that stood out for you that is either like, holy shit, yes, that's actually true, or Michelle's kind of exaggerating?
I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. Literally all of it. It's absolutely incredible. The amount, I feel the amount of years that you've saved me, like going in and learning all of this. You've prevented me from making mistakes and taking the time to fix those mistakes. And so by like going in through the bakery and, going through the modules and downloading and then implementing it in my business, it took a lot of time, but it ultimately, now that everything is in place, like I am getting off at 4 every day. That's what I want to do. That's how I want to spend time with my family. I am really excited to stay, and not in a boastful way, but more of an empowering way. Is like, you really can, I promise you, you will make your money back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've quadrupled what I made year to date from last year. I was reviewing a P&L, so it's incredible.
Oh, that's so fantastic. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah. So it's really going so well. And also, another really big takeaway, 2 things is I love the group setting. I've been able to connect with so many local interior designers, Ria, Didi, hanging out, going out to lunch with them, and just having that community, and hopping on the Facebook group and just saying random questions related to what you're looking for, sourcing.
Yeah.
Or I asked a question the other day about, I think it was changing to an S Corp. So there's just so many different questions that are asked, and everyone's jumping in. Everyone's really helpful. And then one other thing I wanted to mention is my husband is also extremely on board now. And before, when I started, he was really hesitant and very nervous with the investment. And he wrote me a letter. I also posted this in the bakery, like a note, just congratulating me for how far I've come and the work that I put into it. And that was really meaningful, because I knew that it took a lot of trust from his end, in me, that I knew what I was doing.
Somewhat recently married, right?
Yeah, well, 4 years. So
4 years. Okay. Yeah. But still, it's a lot of money to say, hey, honey, this is what I want to go spend.
Yeah.
Do you trust me?
Exactly. Especially when you weren't making much anyway.
Yeah. It's a big chunk. It's a big chunk. But the fact that you've quadrupled it, so by the year end, you may 5 or 6 exit.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the financials, because oftentimes that is, the biggest obstacle. And we've actually raised the price since you've come and joined us by, a little bit. But what made you decide to pull the trigger and invest that much money?
So I knew that I wanted to find some sort of coaching program, and I chose yours. First of all, for you and your warmth,
Mhm.
And secondly, I loved what you were doing with this, rolling in the dough. And I actually learned a lot from it, more than
Mhm.
the other influencers, I guess, that, were offering these types of program. I felt like you were more generous with your knowledge. And,
Mhm.
um, yeah, so I chose it because I wanted to grow and scale. I have dreams for my business, for my personal life. I've wanted to buy a home last year. I was able to do that. So there, I have goals, but I wasn't doing it on my own. And I knew that I needed the support, which is the main reason why. And I also, I'm a big, um, I'm a big go-getter, and I wanted to kind of cut the corners. And I touched on this a minute ago, but I really feel like you saved me so many years of trial and error just by getting me directly to where I needed to be so that I can go upward in success.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why when I first created, or when I first had this idea, part of it was because when I started my business, nobody was talking about, I mean, now you can throw a rock and find a business coach on any corner, right? So Instagram's like business coach, interior design business coach, interior design business coach. So like we're everywhere. But back in the day, nobody was talking about it. And it was like, I had to do all of this through trial and error. And I promised myself once I figured it out that I was going to share it with others, because I really don't think it's not rocket science, and it's not competition. I've said this multiple times this week, like there's enough ugly houses for all of us, right? So in that respect, yeah, I wish I would have had it when I started my business, or when I had been in business for a short period of time, because it does cut so many corners.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah.
what else have you experienced that, what has been something that was something you didn't expect, that you found in the bakery?
So this may come to a surprise, but I had a pretty significant waiting list when I first started the bakery.
Mhm.
And it actually has shrunk, but it's not a bad thing at all. Walking
Right.
through marketing with Sarah, who's awesome.
Yeah.
She really hones in your module, one, I think it is, or
Mhm.
for
1 and 2.
yeah, 1 and 2. So
Yep.
just really honing in on who your ideal client is and who you want to serve, because I was a workhorse before this, and I was accepting everyone. My rates were so low. I was literally doing full design projects for like $3,000. It was so low. And so I had a line out the door because they knew, I mean, it was almost like taking advantage of my service at that point. Um,
Yeah.
and so I shrunk that list down quite a bit, and I'm really glad that I did, because I've only had like 3, 4 clients this year, and it's really paid off. Like just focusing on what I love to do, which
Yeah.
is pouring my heart into these designs, pouring my heart into my clients and their lives, because we're working so closely together for months,
Mhm.
instead of just being spread very thin and getting little money for it.
Yeah. Which I think we've all done. I'm assuming that most of our audience today can relate to that, because I know I did.
Yeah.
Like and plus I wanted to be all things to all people.
Mhm.
But at the same, you can't do that and make everybody happy.
Yeah.
So, let's see, one of the questions is, how was the transition as you raised your prices and changed your processes? That's a common question, says Hallie.
Yeah. So transition as in moving my old clients into the new payment.
Well, that, and how did you feel? Like if you were charging this little bit amount when you came to the bakery, and then did you all of a sudden go up here, or have you been taking baby steps, and then like, do you still have room to grow?
Okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay, so first of all, I was extremely timid to raise rates. I was very worried, and I even put a scope of work in the bakery Facebook group, and I was like, is this good? Because this is a lot of money. And everyone's like, no, this is crazy low, raise it again. And I was like,
Yes.
oh God.
I remember being on a call and the look on your face was just like, she's telling me to raise my prices even more.
Yeah,
It's scary.
exactly. So I think a lot of it was just circling back and to myself and just thinking, why am I not valuing myself right now? Why do I not see value in myself? And I think a lot of it was because I didn't feel prepared, but going through the bakery, I absolutely 100% do. I have the confidence in myself because I know that I have these systems and procedures ready to go. They work. First of all, my clients love it. And so, and when it came to transitioning my old clients to the new rates, those were some interesting conversations to have as well. But honestly, most of them ended up staying and continuing to work with me, regardless of raising the rates. But what I did was I kind of did like a 3-step. I increased it a little bit, tried it. And then with the amount of work that I'm putting in into a design project, I ended up tracking hours and reevaluating. I was like, I need to do this again. So I increased it again. So I'm kind of on a 3rd tier now, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
And then do you feel like this 3rd tier will be where you land for the next year or so? Or do you feel like you've still got room, maybe a 4th tier and a 5th tier within the next 12 months?
So to be honest, I feel very comfortable where I am. As far as what I'm making, I don't feel the need to increase my rates. Also because first of all, I would consider myself more of a decorator rather than a full-fledged interior designer. I am a designer. I'm trained in interior design, but I specialize in the furnishings and the cosmetics and styling of a home. So with that being said, I do try to price myself competitively. And I think if you're offering full service with like kitchen and bath and renovating and ground up new construction, I think you could price more than what I'm doing. But since I'm not offering that, I don't feel comfortable.
Good, that makes sense though. And that's how we look at the different projects, is that every project has different parameters and it's priced accordingly.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And you asked another question too, what surprised you? Before, since I am in furnishing, before I was really just using retail. But going through the module of, learning the margins and the markups, I was like, I am really missing out here. So I very quickly jumped on the bandwagon to start gaining a vendor list of trade vendors.
Right.
And start using that, which has been incredible. It's a slow process. And my goal finishing the end of this year is to finish a project with 90% to the trade vendors. Currently, I'm at about 60%.
That's good. Better than you were last year.
Yes, at 0.
Did you use there's an add-on called Shop Like a Boss. Did you go through that little mini one? Oh, good.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Good. Christine wants to know, how do you reach the clients in the first place?
So for my marketing, I purchased House Marketing, which has done really well for me. And I also use House Pro for my project managing. So it's all bundled into one. That's how I'm marketing to clients. That's how they come to find me primarily. And then also through Google, good SEO, which ties into some of Sarah's teachings as well. I took so many notes from all those sessions, and that's also paid off because clients are finding me through Google.
Good. Yeah, I think that's a great way, because it's basically, hold on, I got somebody at the door here who will not give up. Becca, can you keep talking to this, please? Thanks. Hallie, help me out. I got somebody who won't go away.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm fine. We have a question over on Facebook that I know you can speak because you know of the other bakers in there. Someone said, if I don't do furniture decorating or styling, will it work for me? I do kitchen, bath, and design. And I know we have designers that mostly do that. So could you speak to that based on what you see other bakers saying in the group?
Yes. Well, I feel like I'm more of the minority. I feel like the majority is renovating and construction. And I feel like there's I don't even know anyone who just does decorating. So it absolutely works for you. And I would say that Michelle, you have so many different takeaways in the bakery specifically for construction, like your contracts and sample scope of work and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
That I've looked at, but I don't really use it. But I would say absolutely, if you're working in renovations, kitchen, bath, and that's all you're doing, I would say absolutely go for it. It's 100% worth
And
it.
we have Dee Dee who teaches as a master coach about kitchen and bath. And she does that once a month now, I think. So we've got a lot there. We've got a lot there. Thank you for covering me, y'all. Amazon would not go away and they needed a signature. So here we go. The joys of being at the studio with the windows open. So Bekah, what would you leave our audience with? And Christine, I see your questions and we can definitely address that in our Q&A session. But what would you say to remember where you were in September, and you're like, oh, this is crazy. What would you say to yourself back then if you were today?
Yeah, gosh, I 100% do it. It's really worth it. It's worth the investment. It's worth the investment in yourself and your business. If you are a dreamer and you're creative and you want these things for yourself, this is the key to get there, period.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for sharing what's been on your heart. One more question is, you personally, how have you changed since being in the bakery? Like Bekah in September and Bekah today, what would you say has been some of the changes there?
Gosh, that's a great question. I would definitely say my confidence in myself, I have impressed myself and cried happy tears, looking at things like my P&L, thinking that I would never be able to do this ever. And like, I feel emotion from it now because I genuinely did not believe in myself before this, but I think like the support from the bakers in the Facebook group, who I consider my dear friends, like we call each other weekly and hang out. And so it means so much to me that I've been able to see such great growth in myself in such a short amount of time. I believe there's more to come for me.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Well, girl, you've put the work in. I'm really proud of all the hard work that you've done and seeing results from it. And I'm getting misty-eyed as well because I've hugged you before and I hug you now, and you are a different person.
Yes.
So
yeah,
that's really cool.
That's true. I met you in person. That was how I got started on this path, was meeting you at market, actually.
I know, that was such a fortuitous visit.
Yeah.
Thanks, God.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, if you can stick around.